This is Ethpete, and I'm doing my first movie review. You don't know this, but I love superhero movies, and I'm really excited about the new Batman vs. Superman movie coming out in 2015. So I'm going to go back and look at some of the old Batman and Superman movies and see which ones were the best. I'll start with Batman. Let's look at how Batman has changed over the years.
Take her up!
Holy sardine!
Hand me down the shark repellent bat spray!
The world is cruel, and the only morality in a cruel world is chance. Unbiased, unprejudiced, fair. His son's got the same chance she had. 50-50.
What happened to Rachel wasn't chance. We decided to act. We three.
Then why was it me who was the only one who lost everything?
It wasn't.
The Joker chose me!
Because you were the best of us. He wanted to prove that even someone as good as you could fall.
The Dark Knight trilogy is pretty recent, but I wanted to look at some of the movies that came out before the Dark Knight trilogy. We're going to start off today with a movie made in 1966 called Batman the Movie.
Quick! Everyone! Flee for your lives!
Emergency. Batman speaking. Warning all of you to brace yourselves for big news.
The biggest.
Tell them, Robin.
Holy superlatives, Batman! It's really exciting. Soon, very soon, Batman and I will be batapulting right out of your TV sets and onto your theater screens.
That's right, Robin. Our first full-length motion picture feature in color opens a whole new world of thrill.
Batman the Movie was based off of the hit Batman television series. Even if you've never seen an episode, I bet you know the theme song. Batman! The movie was made between the first and second season, which is pretty impressive considering there were only 22 episodes in the first season. Most TV shows don't get movies until much later in the show's career. So how is Batman in the movie? First, you should see the trailers to see what kind of movie this is.
The big screen gives us more space on land, sea, and in the air to challenge the most cataclysmic collection of super criminals ever. Their minimum objective must be the entire world.
And here are the dastardly villains. The Catwoman.
Oh, you're going to see the perfect crime when I get Batman in my claws.
The Joker. Have you heard of this one? It'll kill you, Batman. The Penguin.
There are two eggs this wily bird is going to scramble. Batman and Robin.
The Riddler.
Question. Who's going to make the feathers fly and knock Batman and Robin out of the sky?
See, the new weapons in the Bat Arsenal combat the forces of evil. The Batcopter. The exploding, man-eating shark.
Holy sardine!
The relentless Megaton Magnet. The unholy Quartet's secret submarine.
Fire one! Fire one!
The Batboat in action. The deadly disintegrator. The attack on the Batcave.
Holy hallucination!
You'll blast through the skies on these mad, manned missiles.
And you'll be with me, Robin, at the Bat Scanner, eavesdropping on Batman's romance. And you'll shudder at the death-dealing Polaris missiles.
Brace yourself, Robin. This could be the end. And that's just a sample of the exciting exploits ahead in our first feature motion picture.
Holy memoranda, folks. Make a note not to miss it.
Good thinking, Robin.
So as you can see, Batman the movie is pretty stupid, but not in a bad way. It's actually pretty funny. I first found this movie on Netflix under the goofy comedy section, and that's what it is. Adam West and Burt Ward, who play Batman and Robin, are just so silly that you have to love them. So let's talk about the plot. This was so special and different from the Batman TV show because it had 4 villains: the Riddler, Penguin, Catwoman, and the Joker.
Their minimum objective must be the entire world.
The villain's goal is to dehydrate the security members of the United Nations Council. How are they going to do it? Well, they're trying to steal a dehydration gun, which they do in the first scene, from a yacht that's traveling to Gotham City. They're expecting a pretty large ransom for this, but they're also trying to kill Batman, and they keep on switching back and forth between the two plans, which makes it pretty confusing about what the villains are trying to do. So at first the villains make Catwoman dress up like this girl who wants to go on a date with Bruce Wayne, and they go out on a date, and the villains come down and capture Bruce Wayne, and then they hold him for ransom, trying to get Batman to come, because they don't know Bruce Wayne is Batman, and then they're gonna get Batman. It's pretty confusing. I think what I would have just done is like caused a crime, and then Batman shows up, and then you just shoot him in the face. That's really what they should do. Another thing that really annoys me is that these villains are called supervillains. So, according to this movie, this is what a supervillain is. They dress up in weird costumes, and they use stupid gadgets instead of just a regular gun, and they tell people what their plan is. Like, seriously, they actually tell Batman what their plan is. So, I don't really see how a supervillain is very dangerous. I mean, I think it's like a regular, average, ordinary bank robber would be a lot more threatening. So the movie opens up with Batman and Robin flying in this Batcopter thing. This is the first time you see the Batcopter in the TV show, or this is the first time in the movie. But it's pretty cool if you were a kid in the 60s. Anyway, they hear there's some trouble going on, or it's going to be attacked. I don't really know. They're flying down, and Batman's climbing down this ladder. He's trying to jump onto the yacht from a helicopter.
Drop bat ladder.
Bat ladder away.
Lock computer on after deck. Set automatic bat hole.
Watch out, Batman. This could be tricky.
Have no fear of it. I'll keep all my wits about me. So long. For a minute.
And another thing, Robin is about 14 or 15 years old because he doesn't get his driver's license until the 3rd season. So he has to be 15 years old at the most, and he's driving a helicopter, and there's a guy dangling from it. He's trying to get onto the yacht, but why didn't they just use the Batboat? I mean, the yacht was going pretty slow, and they could have, like, drove the Batboat up and climbed up on top of it instead of trying to jump off a helicopter onto it. Makes no sense. So anyway, they find out that the yacht was actually just an illusion. So then they go back to Commissioner Gordon's office, and they're talking about it, and they're wondering what was going on there. And then they have probably the most, Batman goes off the vaguest amount of evidence ever. Really. Just watch this video.
Be any one of them, but which one? Which ones? Pretty fishy what happened to me on that ladder. You mean, but there's a fish that could be a penguin?
But wait, it happened at sea. See? See for Catwoman.
An exploding shark was pulling my leg. The Joker. All adds up to a sinister riddle.
Wow, Batman, really scraping the bottom of the barrel there. Well, so let's talk about the action in this movie. Even though it's pretty corny, it's still pretty entertaining and really silly. The special effects look absolutely ridiculous now,
The deadly disintegrator.
but in the 60s they probably looked pretty good. Now I want to talk about some of the logic holes in this movie, and there are a ton of logic holes. Here are all the logic holes that I found. How come Aunt Harriet never noticed the red phone in the kitchen, or that statue head? Or why did they use the Batcopter instead of using the Batboat to try and get onto the yacht? Another thing, Batman lets Robin drive the Batcopter. Robin doesn't get his driver's license until the third season, so Robin has to be at the most 15. That means that Batman breaks the law. Now, I know this sounds strange because in the Dark Knight trilogy, Batman is always breaking laws, like breaking people's rearview mirrors. Or crashing through glass windows. Or speeding. Or blowing up cars. But we're talking about 1960s Batman. And to 1960s Batman, if it came down to stopping a villain and moving the Batmobile out of a red zone, I'm pretty sure you'd go and move the Batmobile. That's just the beginning of the logic holes. There's some more like, how come Batman isn't injured by that shark? Or how could a shark swallow a bomb and live? And why did the bomb go off at that exact moment? Or why did Batman use stupid evidence to prove that all four villains are working together? Or what was the point of keeping Codmore Spindlap alive? And why did the villains want him to make him think he was still on the boat? They already had the invention that he was bringing. How did they transfer Codmore Spindlap from the yacht to the submarine without making it seem that he was being transferred? Now here's one of the biggest problems that I have with this movie. There's a scene in which Batman and Robin are trapped by their utility belts to this giant floating magnet thing that's in the water. The Penguin is about to fire a torpedo at them from a submarine. There's no way to move and get out of the way, and they're trapped there. You see an explosion, and then it cuts back to the villain celebrating, thinking that they've killed Batman. Then we see Batman and Robin walking away. Then you find out that a porpoise jumped in front of the torpedo, intercepting it. What? This has to be the laziest way for a character to defy death ever written in a movie script. I mean, what were the scriptwriters thinking? Let's see. Batman and Robin are trapped to a magnet. A missile is coming at them. They escape by a porpoise jumps in the way. Perfect. We never hear about this porpoise again for the rest of the movie. Why did he jump in front of a torpedo? Was he suicidal? Did he have a death wish? Was he trying to sacrifice himself for Batman and Robin? I think they should have made a spin-off series about the porpoise. I think it would have been pretty popular.
Presenting the story of a porpoise you don't want to mess with. A porpoise who will give his life to save Batman and Robin from a giant magnet. Suicidal Porpoise. Coming soon.
There's also another big problem in this movie. None of the villains use guns. Batman would have died in the first episode of the TV series if they had just used a gun. Come on, guys. Really? The villains rarely ever use guns in the TV series either. And the times they do, they're actually worse with guns than stormtroopers. Yeah, that's possible. They're worse with guns than stormtroopers. Here's some clips that I found that show how bad these guys are with guns. These clips are all from the TV series, so enjoy. had plenty of time to shoot Batman. Instead he waited and got knocked over. But what, a little plastic batarang? I don't see how that could knock someone over. But look at this next one. This one's even worse.
Batman, watch out, those mummies!
The thing that annoys me about this one is that if it hadn't been for that lady, Batman and Robin would have died. And how could they shoot each other? Their guns were, the only thing that was poking that little hole was the gun nozzle. How could they shoot each other? I don't get it.
Holy crossfire.
Hoist on their own murderous petards. A couple of mummies. Let's take them to the morgue.
There are tons of other logic holes, but really all of this is nitpicking. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I would recommend this movie to anyone. It's also great for a family movie night, and you can find it on Netflix. So, I'm going to give Batman the movie a thumbs up. A lot of times, this movie feels more like a parody of a Batman movie than an actual Batman movie. And all the complaints I have about this movie all fall under the category of how silly this movie is, which is why I really enjoyed it. There's one last clip I want to show, partly because it's so funny, and partly because it summarized the Batman TV show and the Batman movie.
A large fresh orange juice, please.
Yes, sir.
Looking for a friend? Maybe you can help me. I've got a problem. Why is a quarrel like a bargain?
Well. What master taught you to read?
The answer is it takes two to make it. Like beautiful music, like the dance. Shall we?
Your orange juice, sir. Batman special.
What's your name?
Molly.
You interest me, strangely. I accept your invitation.
You shake a pretty mean cake, Batman.
It's nothing.
And that's my review of Batman the movie. Please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Coming up soon is my review of Tim Burton's 1989 Batman.
What are you? I'm Batman.
And I'm Ethpete. Bye-bye.